In this bill, people convicted by a non-unanimous jury verdict will file a petition in the court where they were convicted. If the judge agrees that this verdict was non-unanimous, the judge will vacate only the sentence. The person will not get a new trial about guilt or innocence unless the district attorney requests one, but every person will get a new sentencing hearing where both the prosecutor and the defense can put on evidence. At the end of the sentencing hearing, the judge will impose a new sentence based on the sentencing ranges for the next most serious related crime. For example, from second-degree murder to manslaughter. These sentences will always be lower than the person's current sentence, but most will not result in immediate release. In most cases, people will become parole eligible, but still have more time to serve. Victims will be notified and have an opportunity to be heard at both resentencing and parole hearings. This bill would have to get through a two-step process before people convicted by non-unanimous juries would get relief. First, 2/3 of the legislature would have to agree to put a constitutional amendment on the statewide ballot this November. 70% of the legislature is Republican. If the legislature agrees to put the constitutional amendment on the ballot, all Louisiana citizens would get the opportunity to vote on whether to grant new trials to people who are currently incarcerated because they were convicted by a non-unanimous jury. If the bill both passes in the legislature and the Louisiana public votes in favor of the constitutional amendment, people convicted by a non-unanimous jury would be granted a new trial. This bill would not give people convicted by non-unanimous juries a new trial or a new sentence. It would only be able to grant parole and only under very limited circumstances. The bill would create a 5-person panel, all of whom are chosen by the governor. This panel would then review every single non-unanimous jury case, and all 5 people would have to agree that the person has proven, using only the court records, that they had a non-unanimous jury verdict and that their trial resulted in a miscarriage of justice. In most places of the law, this means innocence. The panel would only be able to consider 1, the court records, if they exist, any statement by the district attorney, any statement by the victims, and any statement by the defendant. The panel would not be able to consider any new evidence, such as a new witness, or anything that the prosecutor illegally withheld. All 5 members must agree that the verdict was non-unanimous, and then all 5 members must agree that a miscarriage of justice occurred. Only after that would a person be granted parole, which would be imposed for the entirety of their sentence term, which is in most cases life. If a person is denied, they would have no right to appeal, and they can no longer challenge their case based on their non-unanimous jury conviction.